देर पहले वो वजारत ख़ारजा पहुंच।
पाकिस्तान और इराक के दरमियान मुफाहमती याददाश्त पर दस्तखत की तकरीब, और आप मनाजिर देख सकते हैं। वज़ीर ख़ारजा इस वक्त उन्होंने मुफाहमती याददाश्त पर दस्तखत कर दिए हैं। इस्लामाबाद में पुरवकार तकरीब का इनेकाद किया गया। पाकिस्तान और इराक के दरमियान मुफाहमती याददाश्त पर दस्तखत की तकरीब के मनाजिर आप अपने टेलीविजन स्क्रीन पर देख सकते हैं। दोनों ममालिक के वज़राए ख़ारजा ने मुफाहमती याददाश्त पर दस्तखत किए। अहम और पुरवकार तकरीब इस्लामाबाद में इनेकाद किया गया। पाकिस्तान और इराक के दरमियान मुफाहमती याददाश्त पर दस्तखत की तकरीब का इनेकाद किया गया है। पाकिस्तान और इराक के दरमियान मुफाहमती याददाश्त पर दस्तखत की तकरीब का इनेकाद किया गया और दोनों ममालिक के वज़राए ख़ारजा ने मुफाहमती याददाश्त पर दस्तखत किए। अहम और पुरवकार तकरीब का इनेकाद किया गया इस्लामाबाद में, जहां पाकिस्तान और इराक के दरमियान मुफाहमती याददाश्त पर दस्तखत की तकरीब हुई। और अब वक्त हो गया है न्यूज़ अपडेट का। अपोजिशन जो मर्जी कर ले, इमरान खान 5 साल पूरे करेंगे। अपोजिशन नाकारा है, इमरान खान मुकद्दर का सिकंदर है। वफाकी वज़ीर दाखिला शेख रशीद की मीडिया से गुफ्तगू। डॉक्टर्स ने साबिक वज़ीर आज़म नवाज शरीफ को सफर करने से रोक दिया। नवाज शरीफ की ताज़ा तरीन मेडिकल रिपोर्ट लाहौर हाई कोर्ट में जमा करवा दी गई। और वज़ीर सेहत पंजाब डॉक्टर यास्मीन राशिद कहती हैं पंजाब में डेल्टा वेरिएंट की शरह ज्यादा है। चीनी वैक्सीन खास तौर पर भारतीय वेरिएंट के लिए कारआमद है।
आज़म, इत्तेहाद, जुस्तजू, कामयाबी, लगन, जिंदगी, शर्फ, इन सब से मिला हमें हमारा पाकिस्तान। और अब मिलकर उठाएंगे हम अपना हर कदम वतन के नाम।
*514# डायल करके टेलीनॉन महाना बजट पैकेज लगाओ।
सिर्फ 70 रुपए।
मेरे दोस्त के फोन पर भी महाना बजट पैकेज लगा दे।
मैं हूँ ना, I mean, मेरा फोन है ना, यार तू भाई है।
जो बढ़ती उम्र से नहीं घबराते हैं, वही लाइफ के मैच में बीमारी और कमजोरी को हराते हैं। उम्र बढ़ने के साथ साथ मामूलात जिंदगी मुश्किल तर हो जाते हैं, इसीलिए मैं रेकमेंड करता हूँ इंश्योर। इंश्योर एक मुकम्मल और मुतवाज़िन ग़िज़ा है जो बढ़ती उम्र की ग़िज़ाई ज़रूरियात को पूरा करता है। आप भी डॉक्टर्स के मशवरे से रोजाना इंश्योर पिएं, भरपूर जिंदगी जिएं।
सुपर 4G से मिले पाकिस्तान भर में सुपर कवरेज।
अपना हर कदम वतन के नाम।
Of Iraq. I had the pleasure of visiting Baghdad in May this year, earlier on, and had an excellent meeting with him. Enjoyed his hospitality, extended an invitation to him to visit Pakistan, and I am grateful that he accepted my invitation and is here in Islamabad. We've always valued our bilateral relationship. It is based on common faith, history, common aspirations, and we feel in my trip in Iraq, I realized the goodwill Pakistan enjoys in Iraq at every level. I met the President, the Prime Minister, the Defense Minister, the Interior Minister, obviously the Foreign Minister. And it was across the board. excellent environment, goodwill, warmth, hospitality, but lack of engagement. We hadn't spent a lot of time together because they were in the midst of a war and we were also, going through our regional challenges. But we have reconnected, and we have reconnected with a lot of zeal to promote our bilateral relations in the days ahead, and convert this excellent political relationship into a more meaningful partnership, regional economic partnership. In the bilateral delegation level talks that we've had earlier on, we discussed cooperation in a number of fields: trade, energy, religious tourism, defense cooperation, human resource, and employment. And we also discussed some consular matters. We both have agreed to convene an early meeting of the 9th session of the Joint Ministerial Commission. We feel the last one met many years ago, and this is a good forum to ensure a follow-up of such useful meetings. I discussed with the Foreign Minister the issue of visas and how he can help facilitate visas for Pakistanis, especially during Muharram and close to Arba'in. There is a lot of keenness of Pakistanis to visit Iraq. There are close to 200,000 who visit, or perhaps more, to Iraq. But if we facilitate, there'll be a lot more willing to visit your beautiful country. I shared with the Foreign Minister that we have, under the Prime Minister's personal supervision and interest, announced a new Zyrine management policy, and we would require their support and cooperation in its implementation. We have a plan to facilitate the Zyrine when they travel to Iraq. We plan to have a Pakistan house in Karbala. We plan to open consulates in Najaf and Karbala, and also have a medical center for the Zyrine who visit, who go there for ziyarat. I also briefed the Foreign Minister on the situation that is evolving in Afghanistan. Obviously, as an important country in the region, they have an interest in that, and I've also informed him about the constructive role, the facilitating role Pakistan has and will continue to play in the peace process. In fact, right now we are in Doha engaging with the Troika and with other stakeholders to push the peace process forward. I've shared with him the situation in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the state terrorism Kashmiris are facing, and the gross human rights violations that they are suffering. We also discussed and deliberated upon the Middle East situation and how important peace and security and stability of Middle East is for Iraq as well as Pakistan, because of a significant number of Pakistanis who live and work and contribute to the socio-economic development within Middle East and in particular the Gulf countries. I'm happy to share that we have just signed, before coming down for this stakeout, an MOU between Iraq and Pakistan, and this is a bilateral political consultation mechanism that we intend to establish for regular consultations on issues of interest to Iraq and Pakistan, regional issues, global issues, so that we synchronize our positions and have a more coordinated position at international forums. So I welcome the Foreign Minister, and over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Your Excellency Makhdoom Shah Mehmood Qureshi. We had an excellent meeting, and this is not the first time that we meet. Indeed, we had our first meeting in Baghdad, and then the second meeting we had it in Antalya in Turkey. And each time we are thinking about how to be partners, our countries to be partners in various fields. When we are studying the trade relationship between both sides, we see that it is not in the level that we desire. So the discussion is about to increase the trade level between both countries. But we discuss many other issues, many other topics, as His Excellency mentioned. I would like also to thank Pakistani government and Your Excellency for allowing our officers to have training in Pakistan, and also allowing our diplomats to have training here in Pakistan. As His Excellency mentioned, we discussed many issues, topics related to both sides, bilateral relationship, but also some regional topics. As for regional topics, we hope that the issue of Kashmir will be solved between both countries, India and Pakistan. We Iraqis, and Iraq has got excellent relationship with both countries, India and Pakistan. And we believe, in fact, in solving problems only through dialogue and peaceful way. So we hope that both countries will start negotiation about this issue, which has a long history. We mentioned that Iraq is playing an important role now in the area. In fact, the tension in the area affects the situation inside Iraq, but also in other countries. So the tension between some regional countries affects us directly, sometimes negatively. So that's why we started to talk to the regional countries, and the target is to bring them together in Baghdad. We are planning, Your Excellency, to have a meeting of the leaders of the neighboring countries in Baghdad at the end of this month. It is a fact that there are conflicts and tension between and among various countries in the region. But we believe in dialogue. We believe the way to solve the problems with our neighboring countries, if we have got problems, or if they have problems, will be only and only through dialogue. So we started this approach. And I think the steps which we have taken now is getting some results. Our Prime Minister has been invited to Pakistan, and His Excellency accepted the invitation, and we are planning together so that we can prepare the ground for his visit. Once again, I'm honored to be here. This is my first visit and first time to be in Pakistan. And thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your hospitality. And I am looking forward to have various meetings with the leaders of this country in the coming days. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We can now take
Delegation is in Doha right now, as I speak to you, engaging with all stakeholders for the promotion of peace and stability in Afghanistan. We have an enlightened self-interest in a peaceful, stable Afghanistan, and we have done everything possible to facilitate that, and we will continue to do that despite the negative statements emanating from some quarters within Afghanistan. Now, why are they doing that is what needs to be understood. If you look at some of the social media trends, we have gone into it in greater detail, and we've come to the conclusion that the bulk of that is orchestrated. It's not a natural trend. It is a bot-controlled trend, and it is part of a smear campaign. It is part of a campaign to divert attention from internal challenges that Afghanistan is going through. We sympathize with them. We're willing to be supportive, but let the world know what the reality is. And Pakistan, because of its clear approach, will not be shy of saying what we believe in. We are sincere in a peace process, and we will not be apologetic, because we have done whatever we could, and we will continue to do what we can for peace, for stability, and for regional connectivity. It is in sync with the agenda of our government. You know, the economic security paradigm that we are talking about, the shift from geoeconomics, from geopolitics to geoeconomics, requires peace. And that is why we are advocates of peace. We have never advocated use of force, and we've never shown inclination towards a particular group. We have no favorites. But ultimately, the Afghans, they have to sit and they have to work out, what kind of a future they want for themselves and for their country. Pakistan will only facilitate.
As for the Zaireen, the visitors from Pakistan, because of the situation in Iraq, for a while there wasn't flights between Pakistani cities and Iraqi cities. But now I have understood that there are flights between Pakistani cities and Baghdad and Najaf. So that has been solved. The second issue has to do with the visa. Visa has been released, but to make it easier for the visitors, for Zaireen, when I will be back, I will discuss this issue with the Minister of Interior in Iraq, because at the end it is the responsibility of Minister of Interior in Iraq to make it easier for the Zaireen from Pakistan to come to visit Karbala and Najaf and Baghdad and other areas, other holy places. And we are going to work on that. We are going to solve that problem. And Zaireens from Pakistan, they are welcome in Iraq. And this is in the mutual interest, but also it is in the interest of both people to build different kind of relationship between both countries and between both societies. Thank you.
Numanishwak Mughal from Parliament Time, sir. Welcome to Pakistan in this sacred month of Muharram. Sir, Pakistan and Iraq were close allies in support towards Palestinian people. However, in last year of Donald Trump administration, we have seen that most of the Middle Eastern countries started recognizing Israel. Sir, do you believe any normalization of ties between Iraq and Israel, or you the principal stance that Pakistan is on the Palestinian issue?
We believe in the Palestinian cause. We believe in the right of self-determination of the Palestinian people. And at the same time, when we are talking about the right of self-determination of the Palestinian people, the choice of this right, the exercising of the right of self-determination, is in the hands of the Palestinian leadership. The Palestinian leadership will decide about their future, and we are supporting any issue, any target that the Palestinian people and the Palestinian leadership will choose, because we believe in their right of self-determination.
Thank you, sir. This is Zargun Shah from Geo Television. My question to the foreign minister from Iraq is whether do you really see an end to the crisis in Yemen, and whether Pakistan and Iraq are ready to play their role in the reconstruction and rehabilitation process there. Thank you. This question is for both foreign ministers. Thank you.
I didn't get part of your question, to be honest. Did you see what?
The Yemen crisis.
Yemen, okay.